what are people eating before they go on stage? Asparagus, tilapia, and rice. Like, I'm not their coach, and I just want to slap the plate out of their hand and give them a chocolate bar. Coach Greg, and here I am 1 week out from my next pro show in Germany, Frankfurt, Germany. So I just want to run down basically, what do I do in the final week to prepare myself to peak for this event? Okay, so here it is. So 1 week out, what do I weigh? My median weight is 190.4 pounds. That means I wake up in the morning, and if I cut out the highs and lows, I've been as low as 189.8 and as high as 192.6 is this week. So I take the median weight. So that tells me I'm about 5 pounds over my weight class. I can only weigh 185 at the most. So what am I doing? I'm trying to get in at least an hour of cardio a day, and I'm still eating about 2,500 calories, which is a severe deficit. I feel relatively good compared to most preps. So considering the amount of dieting and the suffering that's going on, I actually feel pretty good. So I'm really looking forward to this competition. I do think I'm going to look significantly improved from my last show in June, so that's good. And the plan basically is to try to be a little bit bigger on stage. Now, obviously, I can't be way bigger because I have to make the weight class. But I want to just barely make it in at 185 and then carb up, eat a little bit more, and try to fill out the muscles so that I look a little bit fuller on stage. I have been training my arms and shoulders like a madman to try and kind of bring it up and balance out some of the rest of my physique. As most of you know, my legs are quite good, so I haven't been training them as redonkulous as normal. So I only train them harder than 99% of you, for example. So I just kind of half-ass it compared to what I normally would do. I might do 20 hard sets a week. I'm training each body part twice a week. Okay, so I'm doing really a 3 or a 4 day split, it depends. Some days I'll throw in an extra exercise or an extra muscle just between sets just to get it over with. So if my biceps aren't sore, what the hell, I'm going to throw it in between sets of legs just because what am I doing? I'm just sitting and texting clients the whole time anyway. So I may as well do something with that time. So I'm training quite instinctively. I don't follow an exact plan. Okay, it's legs, this many reps, this many sets, this much. I go in and I train harder. How hard? Harder than I think I can. I train as hard as I can. Now, seeing as my legs are already overdeveloped, I guess, in comparison to my upper body for that weight class, I don't do as much volume, but the sets are hard. I almost every set is to failure or forced or beyond. None of them are low reps. 10 is super heavy. If I'm doing only 10 reps, I never do only 10 reps. 15 is way more likely in 20. I don't want to get injured. I train my freaking ass off, and I don't want to break a knee or a ligament or a tendon or tear anything a week before a show. So you have to be smart. Harder doesn't mean you put a max on and you go crazy. It means you push yourself as hard as you can mentally and physically. When you're in a calorie deficit, that ability to push yourself to that limit is diminished. So even though I'm training as hard as I can, it's not as hard as I could if I was eating 5,000 calories a day versus 2,500. Plus, I'm doing an hour of cardio every day. Do you think my legs are always fresh? No. What about my diet? Peak week, do I change anything? Yes, I go keto. But Greg, you do fad diet. I go keto for a specific purpose, and I will explain why and when and how and the whole thing. Today's Saturday. It's not keto. Tomorrow is Sunday. It's not keto. The next day is Monday. It's not keto. I'm following the same freaking diet. I always eat French toast. I always eat popcorn. I always eat wraps. I'm always having my protein ice cream shakes. And then I throw in different things. I eat salmon every day, blah, 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 a salad, and so on. Then, Tuesday, all hell breaks loose, and the diet is no longer fun. It is carb deplete time. Carb deplete keto, as in very, very low carb. The reason for this is when you eat carbs, carbs store water in the muscle all over your body. If I followed the same diet as I'm eating now, how in the world am I going to weigh in at 185 pounds if the lightest I've weighed this year is 189.8 pounds when I was dehydrated and slept in like 11 hours? It wouldn't happen. With keto, I can lose 5 pounds very easily in a few days. Why? Because my glycogen stores diminish and I become flat. Flat as a pancake. Muscles flat. More ripped though. The flatter you are, the more shredded you are. Don't believe the bullshit that people will tell you about, oh, you're flat, so you look more fat. Oh, you got to eat more carbs because you looked fat on stage. No. When you're flat, you are shredded. The glycogen and overfilling does not make you look leaner. It makes you look puffier, more bloated, okay? So that's important. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I carb deplete. Then my weight's going to get really low. I fly out on Thursday afternoon. I'm on a plane for like 16 hours. I've never done this before. It's new territory for me. I've never competed overseas. All this is a new experience for me. So just because I've done 55 shows, I've done 42 natural, this is my 13th or 14th show not natural. I'm not natural, and I'm going to compete. So when I land, I actually land Friday morning in Frankfurt. It's like 6:30 in the morning. And I have to weigh in that day. So I'm bringing my scale with me because I trust it and I've been using it for years. Because if I miss my weight class by 1 pound, the $7,000 I'm spending to go to Germany and then to Niagara after that is wasted. I don't get to compete. I get to watch in the audience. That was a very long trip to go watch me not compete. I have to make my weight class no matter what. If that means I land on Friday and I don't eat until after I weigh in, or if I have to jog for 14 hours straight till I make, that happens. I have never missed a weight class in my life. 55 bodybuilding shows, 70 plus powerlifting shows, and I did 55 of those powerlifting shows, all natural. So those of you, oh, Greg doesn't know how to contest prep. He only knows I know more how to contest prep natural than I do enhanced. So shut up. Shut up. I'm sick and tired of everyone. Greg, you don't know what it's like to train natural. I've trained natural longer than 99% of you. Just shut up, okay? I know a lot of this shit. Stop trying to argue with me when you don't know anything. It's so stupid of you to do so. Getting back to the prep for this show. All right. I then start carbing up after the keto diet, which I follow for 3 days, which serves the purpose of completely depleting glycogen stores of the muscle, shrinking me down to a skinny little dude, the smallest I could be, which is going to be under 185. I then add carbs. Why don't I stay keto? Because I would look flat. Flat is ripped though, Greg. Yeah, but flat with a bit of carbs is a better pump, a better vascular muscle, and it looks better. So I will then carb up. Am I going to carb up on health food? No. I get all these plans from former coaches, and I swear to you, coaches are so uninformed, unintelligent, don't know how to think for themselves, but they have a great body. But Greg, he looks way better than you, so he can coach better than you. Well, that makes no sense. Just because they look better than me doesn't mean they know more. There's people who are way smarter than me in math. They're probably 7 years old, and they're just geniuses. They just know everything. So this just happens. A lot of your hero coaches, IFBB pros, world famous coaches, no zero. Zero. Nothing. How do I know? Because I've seen their plans. They send them to me, my clients, and I look at it and I'm like, that guy charged you $7,000 and that's what you got. Those 3 pages. Yeah, he told me to take 100 milligrams of Clen 9 weeks out, starting there. What? Well, it's the morning of the show. I need to eat bacon and eggs. What, to distend your stomach and look bloated? Fat load? Fat load doesn't store glycogen. So what I do is I eat junk food. By the time the show is over, I am sick of junk. So what kind of foods do I carb up on? Cereals, rice cakes, chocolate bars, Pop-Tarts, junk food, carbohydrate-rich foods. I sodium deplete for 1 day. That's all I need. And as soon as my legs start cramping up, I reintroduce the sodium and I sodium load and I eat a ton of salt. The salt will help prevent cramping, help you get a better pump, and so on. Okay, so I'm going to eat a lot of food. I can't tell you exactly how many calories because every time is different. I need to make sure. This is the most important thing if you're a men's physique competitor or a classic physique competitor. Your stomach has to be flat as a pancake. It has to be flatter than a pancake. It has to be minuscule. It has to be the tiniest you've ever seen in your life. But my coach told me to eat burgers and fries before I go on stage. So a burger is going to sit in your stomach for 8 hours, say, and it's going to bloat you. How is that going to be a benefit to you when you need to do a vacuum pose or try to make your stomach look small? You need food that gets in your body and digests quickly and gets out. Should you be eating? I walk around, I'm guest posing, I'm looking around. What are people eating before they go on stage? Asparagus, tilapia, and rice. Like, I'm not their coach, and I just want to slap the plate out of their hand and give them a chocolate bar. Why are you doing this? The diet's over. The day of the show, we're not eating for health. We're eating to look a specific way. You do not throw in a bunch of steak and protein the night before a show to fill up or whatever for the show. That is just asinine. So bad of an idea. So forget the health food diet. Now, why do I only carb up so late? Why am I not carbing up Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday? When the body becomes depleted of carbs, it's like a dry sponge that's been sitting out on the driveway for a month in the desert. It is like a hard rock sponge. You then pour some water on it and it soaks up every little bit of it. Does it take 3 days of pouring on water on the sponge to fill up? No. Does it take my bicep 3 days to fill up with glycogen from the food I eat? No. So those of you who are carbing up for 3 days are risking spilling over. All you do, to me, it's an excuse to end the diet early. You're sick of dieting, so am I. We're all sick of it. But on Wednesday, if you start eating carbs, that is stupid. Nobody in the world needs 3 days to carb up for the show. Oh, but I looked better the day after the show. After eating all this food, I should have ate more. No, you didn't look better. You looked fuller, bigger. In a tank top, you look great. Yes, I am ripped and big and full. Yeah, and then you lift your abs up and you got this belly with burgers sitting in it and you do a thigh and ab pose. And yeah, you can see the abs. Of course you can. But the food is distending your stomach out and you look like you have a bubble gut. Not a good look. That's what happens the day after the show. You don't look better the day after the show. You look bigger and fuller. And if you have a photo shoot in a tank top, you will look better. Bigger, thicker. Yes, on stage, that's not the look the judges are going for. I have judged shows. I'm certified. I've done this for many years. My girlfriend has judged about 20 shows. We know what to look for. When I critique a physique, I am telling you my truthful and honest opinion of your physique. When I assessed Wesley Vissers, I gave you the true, honest assessment of his physique. Regardless if the fact that I like the guy, it doesn't change the fact that when I look at his physique, I see flaws. I see more flaws in mine than his. I'm not saying I'm perfect. Far from. My goal is to get top 5. But I can assess my physique, and I will assess my own physique after this show. I will show you clips and the whole thing and whatever, and say, this is why I didn't win, and this is the guy that won. That is why he beat me. And some people who are maybe fans of mine, but Greg, you were more ripped than him. And yeah, I'll probably be the leanest guy in the show. Doesn't mean I'm going to win. You can't just say, oh, you're lean. There's going to be certain reasons and certain looks. Yeah, I'll probably have the best hamstrings and legs, and I'll be shredded, have a good chest, and so on. But there's going to be somebody with a waist that's this big that's going to beat me. I guarantee it. And it's just the look that the classic physique guys are going for, okay? So I'll give you the honest assessment. Once the carbs come in, it's like opening up a dam and it floods through. You cannot stop eating. I coached a guy yesterday and I said, yeah, eat chocolate bars and rice cakes till your stomach fills up. Oh, what should I buy? I'm like, well, go get like 10 Kit Kats and like, a bag of rice cakes. It's nighttime. That should do them till tomorrow. 2.5 hours later, what should I eat now? It's gone. All 10 Kit Kats and the rice cakes gone. Done. That's how fast you can finish food. And his stomach was still flat. Guess what? He's not going to spill over because he's not carbing up for 3 days. If he started that on Wednesday, then it's like, okay, you ate that much. Now Thursday you have to carb deplete. You ate a bit too much. And then Friday we can't eat too much and so on. Problems. The later you wait, the better. You want to start your carb up when you're already dry. If you still have water to lose and you start carbing up, it is going to be more difficult to get shredded because the carbs are stored with the water as glycogen, and when you take your diuretics or you cut your water or what have you, you're not going to lose as much water, and it's easy to spill over. What is spillover? Spillover is when you're bloated, watery, and not hard. On stage is not healthy. We're not trying to look healthy. It's not the look you would want to go to the beach on. It is a freakishly lean, unhealthy, emaciated, shredded look. Here's a huge mistake that so many people make. Oh, I drink 2 gallons of water a day, every day, it's good, and water, good. Awesome, drink a lot of water, that's great. Burns calories too, if you didn't watch one of my videos on how many calories water drinks. You have to heat the water up to your body temperature and so on. And I'm not gonna quote a research study to prove it because it just is true. The world is a globe. It's circular. It's not flat. I don't need a research paper to prove it. It happens. Now, you do not want to gradually cut out your water. You don't go from 8 liters of water, then the next day it's 4, then it's 2, then it's 1. What that does is it gives the body a chance to just be like, wow, he's gradually cutting water. We better start hoarding onto it. No, water, zero water. Done. The water's gone. Body's like, man, dude drinks 8 liters of water. Pee, no water. Keep peeing. He's just going to drink 8 liters anytime. 8 liters doesn't come in. Pee. Oh, wow, you just got shredded. How the hell do you think I got so freaking ripped for shows? Natty. You think I used diuretics my whole life? 42 natural shows, 0 diuretics. 0. Look at my old pictures. Did I look fat to you on stage? 20 years ago when I was doing a natural show, I was still carb depleting for 3 days, still carb loading, still cutting out my water. Difference, I didn't add a diuretic. I didn't have femora. Didn't need femora, I wasn't on test. What would I need femora? I didn't block estrogen, I didn't have it. I didn't have testosterone. So it's a whole different world in terms of the supplements. But preparing for the show, it's the same thing, it's just different supplements are used. Cut your water all at once. Usually it depends. It might be Thursday night, it might be Friday, it depends. When I do Niagara, I have to literally weigh in Friday afternoon and I'm competing Friday night. I've never done this. And then the finals are Saturday night. What is that? I've never done this, but I'm smart enough and I've done enough shows to know what I need to do. Obviously, I still need to peak for the morning show. All the judging is done in the first prejudging. You need to look your best at prejudging. Now, when I was an amateur and I knew I was going to win my class anyway, I would peak for the night show because I wanted to look my best in the overall lineup against, when I was 155 pounds going against 220 pounds, I wanted to peak so that I could beat the 220-pound guys. At pro level, I need to peak on the prejudge to even have a chance to make a call out, okay? So I will peak to look my best for the prejudging. I take pre-workout before the gym, 2/3 of a scoop of Rise Tiger's Blood. It's the blackout label one. I mean, this stuff tastes so good and it gives me so much. I can't take the full scoop. It's awesome. That's a fat burner to me because anything that gives you energy, I label it as a fat burner. So pre-workouts to me are fat burners. You could technically take a fat burner as a pre-workout because it gives you energy. Anything that gives you energy, it gives you more of a ranty, like just look at this. I'm burning more calories than if I have no energy and I just do this. So your metabolism is more revved up from the NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Let's go to the day of the show. I have to have flat stomach. So I eat, but not enough to distend my stomach. So what kind of foods do I eat? I don't eat fruits and vegetables, even though they're healthy and awesome. Why? Because there's fiber and it bloats you, okay? Here's a secret. I take Gas-X, lots of it, starting the night before showing the show. What is that? Well, it's an anti-bloating, makes you fart type of thing. It gets rid of gas. Distended stomach is the opposite of what you want. So what will I eat? A lot of chocolate bars, a lot of rice cakes, cereals, salted rice cakes, salty anything. That's mostly what I'm going to eat. I can eat other things too, but it depends. If I eat something that doesn't digest quickly, that's going to sit in my stomach, I need to make sure I have enough time for that to digest, okay? So if I'm going on stage in 3 hours, I'm not eating pizza. It's going to sit in my stomach. I'm not eating a burger. I could eat like carbs, but you have to be careful, okay? All you should do is worry about your stomach, okay? So I'm going to end it there. GregDoucette.com for coaching. Bloop this video and watch that. Watch the crap out of that. It's my old video stuff from past contests. Another old video stuff that I've done from past contests. Watch those and learn, guys. I've done this for a long time. I know what I'm talking about. Greg Doucette, IFBB Pro. Follow me on Instagram. And I am out of here.